So, can you imagine?
Well, before we even start, why am I wearing my shades? Because they're cool, because I want to be as cool as James Gavin. James Maurice Gavin, the coolest general in the US Army.
Yeah.
He's
arguably the coolest general.
Arguably the coolest general, right? How cool is he, Jim?
Yeah,
well,
he's like so cool.
Well, he's born illegitimate. He's adopted. His adopted parents don't want him to join the army, so he says he's an orphan. He joins the army. He works his way, as a grunt, works his way to pass the exam to get into West Point.
Does so illegally, doesn't he?
Yeah. Lies about his age again because he wants to be a soldier. And he's an absolute, he's a born warrior guy. And he's the bloke who writes the book about airborne landings for the Americans.
He's also an intellectual.
Yeah.
He's an intellectual. He's a self-educated, and it's amazing because you can go and look at all his papers are at the United States Army Heritage and Education Centre at Carlisle, which is the War College there. And you can see all his books and his diaries and the original handwritten stuff. He's got this one book of quotes from generals and commanders about warfare. Right. All the way back from Julius Caesar and Alexander the Great.
We're making you sound like a bit of a nerd right now. He's cool though, right?
No, he's really cool.
He's really cool.
He's really cool. And he sleeps with Lee Miller. He sleeps with Marlene Dietrich.
Oh my goodness.
He's not just jumping Jim time, he's jumping in and out of bed.
Right, okay.
Jim Gavin.
He might jump you. Jumping Jim Gavin might jump you is what you're saying.
Basically.
But the critical thing is, here, Market Garden on D-Day, when he lands, when he comes in, feet, knees together, elbows in, although the parachute landing fall is a British thing with a quick release chute, the Americans don't have that. He breaks his back. But he's cracked his vertebrae. He's landed here, and this is drop zone T, right? And DZT, and that tree line there.
It's the Reichswald.
It's the
deep dark wood.
It's the fatherland.
It's the fatherland.
It's Germany. We are this close to Germany.
Yeah, it's not even 3 miles.
It's 4,000 metres. Again, I measured it in Google Earth because that's the other thing about. One of the things we've got at our disposal is the technology to just double check, but that's 4,000 metres away. And the German border is just there. When I came in the 80s with my dad, we took a wrong turn, we ended up in Germany, in the high car. And that's entirely possible here. Yeah. Boy Browning, when he lands, Lieutenant General Frederick Browning, who's insisted on bringing his Corps headquarters with him. Yep,
38 gliders.
38 gliders, part of 1st Airborne's allocation of horses. He brings them here. The first thing he does once he's landed, brought in by George Chatterton, who's the commanding officer of the Glider Pilot Regiment, he goes for a slash. He goes to take a slash on German soil. The first British officer to urinate upon German soil. So he's got his priorities all sorted. But basically, Gavin lands here. The bridge is that way. Well, Nijmegen Bridge is that way. But so let's get into the complexity there. Here.
Okay. So this is drop zone T. This is where Gavin lands, but it's also where the 508th Parachute Infantry under Lieutenant Colonel Lindquist. Yeah. Roy Lindquist lands here. Over there is drop zone N, which is 505th. Then you have drop zone O, which we've already been to, which is where the 504th is. 504,
between Grava and Heumann.
505th, 508th. Those are your 3 parachute infantry regiments of the 82nd Airborne. Yeah. So there's then going to be a second lift.
Tomorrow.
Monday the 18th of September.
Glider infantry,
and they're going to come in here. Yeah. So you've got to hold this. But over there is the deep dark wood. Yeah. Okay, and that is Germany. Yeah. And I think for understandable reasons, Gavin gets a little bit paranoid about what might come out of there. Yeah. Now, the intelligence on what German troops are around here is patchy because this has been put together very quickly. They know there's a 2 SS Panzer Corps in the area. They know there's some Fallschirmjäger.
They know which headquarters are here. This is the thing. This is the signal imprints they're getting, the ultra decrypts they're getting. Tell them which headquarters are in town, but not really that much about their strength. No. Certainly not about their mobilisation, and certainly not about how willing they are to fight.
No, and they don't know what's lurking in the Reichswald. Yeah. And the problem is with the Reichswald is it is less than 3 miles away, and there's lots of woods. So if anything's in there, they can't see it.
I mean, his issue here, though, is that you need this high ground. I can completely see the argument why, particularly if you want to see what's coming from here. Yeah. But his real problem is because of the additional lift, he has to defend this clear ground here.
Exactly.
If it weren't for the second lift, he'd better shorten his lines and he'd be sitting on that and he'd better prioritise the bridge properly.
Yeah, he wouldn't need any troops down here
at all. Wouldn't need anyone down here. But
over there is the deep dark wood. Yeah. You don't know what's lurking in it. No. It might be nothing. But there might be lots of panzers. Yeah. And that is an unknowable threat. So you have to kind of prepare for a kind of worst case scenario or kind of bad case scenario. Yeah.
What is the actual scenario?
Well, the actual scenario is that there you've got Wehrkreis 6, and this is a kind of sort of 4th level, 4th grade, cruddy home defence unit, which has been hastily formed into Corps Felt after General Lieutenant Felt, who's a kind of sort of ageing, washed-up general who's fit for nothing more than...
And they've been digging trenches and...
Yeah, but Corps Felt is divided into 2 divisions, and the only division that's in this area is 406th.
Yeah.
6,669 men.
Right.
That's all it is. 9 makeshift battalions. They've literally got a handful of guns, a couple of SPs, that's self-propelled artillery pieces, and that's it. And they're designed entirely to do home defence stuff.
Yeah.
So this is building bunkers, building ditches, you know, laying a few mines, that kind of thing. Nothing more than that. Now, some of them, one of those battalions, those understrength battalions, is in Nijmegen.
Right.
But that's it. I mean, total troops in Nijmegen on the afternoon of 17th of September, Sunday the 17th, D-Day for Market Garden, 750, maybe 700, something like that. Not a lot. But Gavin doesn't 100% know that.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know that the threat from the
But what he does know is he has
Reichswald.
to protect his landing zones.
But he has to protect
He has to protect his landing zones. So whatever's there...
But also he's got this prioritisation. He's got to get the Grave Bridge.
Yeah.
So that getting the Grave Bridge and at least one bridge over the Maasveld Canal, that is at least 1 parachute infantry regiment. So he's got 2 more, which he's got to split up, and he's got to use those 2 more to protect roads, hold the Grosbeek Heights, hold this in, and take the road
main
bridge.
road bridge at Nijmegen.
But what we're going to do now is go and visit his command post, because I've got a map which pinpoints exactly where he had his command post, and I've superimposed that onto Google Earth.
And you found it?
And we found it.
Brilliant.
So let's go and check that out.
Let's go and have a look.
And then consider the other dilemmas that he's got and how he gets around them.
Which are multiple.
So we come up to the Grosbeek Heights.
Yeah.
This is the main road that leads to Grosbeek from Nijmegen, which we can hear.
And that road runs all the way back down to the LZ, DZ we were on, DZO.
But
DZT.
Yeah, exactly. But Gavin is pretty, I mean, not only does he fracture his back, he also nearly gets taken out on he lands, because they almost land on top of a German machine gun post.
Right.
And he's saved by his Dutch liaison officer, who's a Jedbra, which are these 3-man teams that drop in behind enemy lines.
Yes.
Called Captain Arie Dirk Besterbroitje. And Besterbroitje saves his life twice.
Yeah.
Anyway, the reason we come down here...
he's there to liaise with the resistance, with the Dutch resistance, and offer local advice.
Local advice and local knowledge.
And there's a Jedbra team in Arnhem as well, and there's one here, and there's one in Eindhoven.
Exactly that.
It's part of the way things are set up.
So I know this all seems a bit unlikely, but the reason we're here is you will remember this. You and I have been here before.
Yeah.
This is Gavin's command post. And we know Jim, this is Gavin's command post.
You know this because you know, if
because it's marked on a period map.
Yeah.
Which you can then superimpose or compare with Google Earth.
Right, Google Earth. Right.
I actually had it just by that tree over there, but actually it's clearly here, because here you can't really see in 2D, but here are groundworks. This is clearly man-made. This is a ditch here, and there's another one on the other side, which is just here. So in and around here was the command post of the 82nd Airborne
And we're
Division.
talking his staff. So it's his radios, it's his comms, it's his liaison people. It's it'll be tented, it'll be properly tucked away and
camouflage netting, all that kind of
the whole thing.
And the reason you have it here is because the gap in this line is actually quite narrow between the road, and just through there you can just sense it.
Yes,
there's a massive railway cutting. So you're protected on that side. No one's going to attack you on your flank. And you've got access with the road just there. And you're out of the way, you've got trees above you, no one can see you. What's
and
not
it's
to
his
like?
centre of gravity, isn't it? Because the Reisfeld is that way, with the LZs and DZs that way, and his main objective, the road bridge, is over this way. And also, command of the high ground means he can see he can look over his shoulder at the Reisfeld. As we said earlier, his problem is he's also got to defend those landing and drop zones. But also over there, just over there, the crest of this hill is the prize of Nijmegen.
The Nijmegen Road Bridge. So what he's got on the end of day 1, D+1, what he's got is he's got the Grave Bridge. He's got the human bridge.
Yeah.
You know, bridge number 7.
Yeah, yeah.
Over, yeah, exactly. So he's got that. That's tick, tick. He's secured his drop zone over there, drop zone T and N, and O is still in play.
Yeah.
So he's got that. But what are the 508th doing? Well, the 508th have been told to secure the heights, which they've done pretty much. There's some jitter raids in the night from kind of frisky 406th Infantry Division, German 406th Infantry Division types, and running around in the night, sowing confusion and not knowing quite what's going on. But basically, they hold this ground. What he's told Lindqvist, who is the commander of the 508th, is then go and capture the...
Well, what he's told him that the night before, in fact.
He told him the night before.
He says, your most important task, once you clear the landing zones, is to take the road bridge. Lindqvist interprets that as you've got to do your landing zone tasks first, and then you go to the bridge. And on the evening of the 17th, Gavin says, no, go get there as quick as you can.
Quick as you can.
And tells him which way to go as well.
And he tells him which way to go, which is to go from the east, and that's where we're going to go now. We're going to look at where Gavin reckons the best route in to capture the bridge is.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? Because he's spinning a lot of plates, and a lot of them are derived from the fact that there are more guys arriving tomorrow.
Yeah.
And if he weren't having to guard his landing zones, certainly not the ones that are out sort of out his sort of back flap out that way.
Yeah.
Because his focus is here, isn't it? You've got the Grave bridges. There's another 2 bridges in that direction, and Nijmegen that way.
But also, your divisional commander, your job is to have an oversight of the whole thing. You allocate tasks, and you ensure they're completed. But you can't, on day one, you can't be everywhere all the time.
No.
You've got to be the coordinator. You've got to be the focus point. You've got to be the centre of gravity.
I mean, actually, one of the things...
You have to trust your commanding officers to go and do what they need to do.
One of the things you have to do is wait and let those things play out and see where you are by the end of the day, actually.
Yeah.
If you start micromanaging straight away, which is what Roy Urquhart does, in Arnhem, things can come unstuck.
Yeah.
Or you can just get in people's way. So let's go and look at where he thinks they ought to go.
Okay.
And then let's maybe end up where they actually end up going.
Yeah. So anyway,
This is cool, though. I'll be honest with you, Jim, right? If it weren't me, it'd be someone taking your word for it that this is his command post. I mean, it's like a wood. There's some scrub.
No.
There's some bracken.
You can see, that's really clearly.
There's some brambles.
No, that's been dug out. That's been dug out.
Come on, let's go find the route to the bridge.
But we have now done what it's like commanding an airborne division with a broken back.
Absolutely.
What we now need to look at is why they didn't win the war by Christmas.
Yeah, okay.